Amazing. So yeah, so back to that mirror analogy, super important because that's why people don't like personal growth. You know what I mean? That's why they pick up a Think and Grow Rich, and like 2 pages in, they go, oh, oh, oh God, wrong book, wrong book. I thought it was about making money. I didn't know it was about me. I didn't have to change me. I was looking to make more money. I don't want to change. Fuck that. Oh my God. So so these calls, it's like walking into that house of mirrors, man, where you're just seeing yourself from all kinds of crazy angles. And it's a good time to just sort of think, am I on the right track? If I'm not on the right track, why am I not on the right track? If I know the answers, why am I not taking the actions? And really venturing down that, down that path, because that's really what it is. It's a path of, like, we say growth, but it's really discovery. You know what I mean? We say growth, but it's really remembering. Really, it's remembering who we are. Um, and that's the key, because you want to unlearn, because we're born champions. We're born risk takers, and we learn averageness. We learn all this, you know, stinking thinking. So these calls are a reminder. That's why sometimes when you jump on calls or you listen to information, it's like, whoa, yeah, that really resonates. Wow, yeah, that's true, man. That's like like that's true. Like that's like the internal self going, man, yeah, I agree with that. That's mad. I don't even know why I agree with it. I just agree with it. I feel like it's right. I'm reading a book at the moment called The Purpose Driven Life by Rick Warren. Really, really good book. First of all, I'm not sure if there's any women on the call from my wife's book club call. They're not really book club. It's more of like a I don't even know what it is. Do you know what I mean? I don't know what goes on, but but there seems to be a lot of tears happening. There seems to be a lot of breakthroughs, so it's all good. So hopefully the women are enjoying that. We're going to start doing a monthly gentlemen's club. Cool. So teaching people the basics, and yeah, just teach people, because again, I could write a book on how to not be a boyfriend. You know what I mean? I've made all the mistakes, and once you find the right one, you just got to make a decision, and then it's the case of just, like, just doing. It's understanding what a relationship is, and how to continuously build on that. All right, I'm not an expert at any, by any means, but yeah, things seem to be rocking and rolling. So let's talk about this book, The Purpose Driven Life. Okay, here's first of all, here's what this book's really making me do. It's really making me sort of detach from the material world a little bit, and come to terms with what's really important. And to be honest, guys, I mean, I haven't gone through the whole book yet, but I'm kind of getting the picture, and it's all about living living like with, walking with God, essentially. Walking a path that, in a place of, like, not being entitled by, thinking that, God owes you. It's really you owe God, right? And you need to act in a way of like, just out of as pure as you possibly can, right? By believing in people, by, understanding that, today's, I know some nuggets today, I'm telling you right now, as I'm reading it, it's like, talks about being obedient, right? And it talks about, Noah, you all have Noah's Ark, right? Two by two. Well, it talks about being obedient, right? And it says, let me find it. Let me find it. So when you're obedient, here we go. Ready for this? God doesn't owe you an explanation for everything he asks you to do. Understanding can wait, but obedience can't. Instant obedience will teach you more about God than a lifetime of Bible discussions. You know me, because whenever I read these books, I'm like, I always apply it to like my life and how I can actually apply it to my life, like business, stuff like that, right? In fact, you will never understand some of the commands until you obey them first. Oh my God. I was like, that sounds like when I'm being mentored, right? That sounds like something hang on a minute. You will never understand some commands until you obey them first. Obedience unlocks understanding. I was like, wow, that is mad. And I promise you, that is like across the board, because I'm like, because when I read stuff like this and I'm reading some of the chapters, I can literally feel that the internal resistance coming up because I wasn't born into like a religious family. I'm not saying this book's religious. It's not. It's talking about like God as in like you understand, right? It's not about religion. In fact, he actually says that, that most Christians have got it wrong. In fact, um, in church life and all that stuff, like it's not about the one who goes to church every week. It's the one who actually lives, lives the information. It's not about that. It's not about church and all that religious stuff. It's a way of life. It's a way of living. But this applies across the board, like relationships, right? That gentleman's club, things that because I've had some great mentors, some very wise mentors, right? And both my mentors, both of my major mentors, they've both been in a happy marriage for over 3 decades. Both of my major mentors, both were very successful financially. Both were very successful in impacting other people, right? That's one of the things about this book. What pleases God is by spreading the word, right? What pleases God is by spreading the word. Now, when you start walking with God, you need to be prepared for people to stop walking with you. Mm, mm. Because sometimes I'm a little bit hesitant to say God on calls. I say universe, right? I don't want to call it universe, really. I want to call it God, really. And that's me building my relationship to God. The only reason why I say universe on the calls is because of the people like me 7 years ago, where if you said God to Jake 7 years ago, they'd be like, oh, it's the Bible bashers. What all these? What's all this? What's this a cult? What's this like? What a bunch of Jehovah Witnesses? Like that, that's the old me. What's all this? Go away. You know what I mean? Stop trying to like convert me, man. Woo. So like I say universe to sort of like ease people in, but those that know me personally, it's all God, man. It's all God. It's all God. Like, and my dog came over to me today, and she's like constantly licking me, and I'm like, man. And I'm reading this chapter. I'm like, ain't it crazy how dog is God spelled backwards? And Lucky, she loves me regardless, unconditionally. I could sin all day. I'd come home, and guess who'd be there to love me? My dog. That's how God works. So you need to understand that the reason why we feel bad when we sin. See, sinning feels good in the now. Who agrees? Man, I'm telling you right now, sinning feels really good in the now. But I was like, no, I'm not sure. No, trust me. If I ate a cookie right now, you'd see me glow up. Okay. But you give me a call in an hour, I'll be like, fucking waste of space. I'm telling you right now. right? So sinning feels good in the now. It does, but we always regret it. We always feel, and that feeling is because you've come away from God. That's what it is. You've come away from it. Now, this doesn't mean that you have to, I mean, it says in there you have to live like Jesus Christ for sure. You know, how, he was like the example. And I think that's going to take a lifetime, to be honest, for me to like, because there's certain things I don't want to give up. Do you know what I mean? Not right now anyway. Because I'm like, well, I mean, come on. Okay, no. But like, because he said, about like material things and all that stuff, and it's all short-lived, and it is. But at the same time, God also wants you to experience amazing things whilst we're on earth, like material things. But he doesn't want you to have those material things then actually start owning you. He wants you to give all praise to God. He wants you to show it off to inspire other people, right? That they can have been doing anything that they want as well. So that's actually, really why I want those things. Obviously, I want to enjoy them for a bit myself, but really that's really it, really. Do you know what I mean? So you have to give God all the credit. And he talks about when, you go around to maybe a family member's house and they cook you a nice meal. And the person who cooked you the nice meal, takes pride in that, and they actually enjoy giving it you, right? And that's like God, God, look, he actually enjoys giving you nice things. He wants to do that, like really wants to do that, really wants to. And then when you receive those things, could be anything, but when you receive these things, because everything comes from God, when you receive these things, imagine if you do go to, let's say, for you didn't saw your mom in like 6 months, you go around and see your mom, whatever, she bakes you a nice meal. She's really excited to give you this meal, right? And you don't even say thank you, right? So when you experience anything in life, if you really trust God's plan, that's what it says in the Science Game, Rich, being grateful for all things. Because when even a negative happens, I'm saying this book, like I feel like this book's like like a coat. Do you know what I mean? A coat of protection. Because like even if a negative things happens, I do feel like I'm like, wow, God, thank you for that. Thank you for like teaching me that lesson right now. I'm gonna keep serving. I'm gonna keep smiling. Do you know what I mean? It's kind of like testing me a little bit, and it's keeping me positive in all different things in life. The next chapter is the heart of worship. I'm looking forward to reading that. But yeah, like listen, guys, like the reason why I'm not sure if you know the story of Noah, but the reason why God wanted to wipe out the earth and start again with Noah and his family, because the world just come away from God, stopped giving him the credit for anything, thinking it was all them. And Noah's over here being a good man, right? And Noah God gave Noah a vision. Do you know Noah had never seen rain? So correlate that to your situation. Maybe you've never seen a lot of money before. God had never seen, Noah had never seen rain. Maybe you've never seen a lot of X, whatever, whatever. See what I'm saying? Like trying to see this. There's so many things you can take from these stories, but maybe you've never seen that before. And what he's doing? He was building this boat, right? And everyone was thought he'd absolutely, lost his mind. Even his own family was like, Dad, what's going on, man? What are you doing? What are you actually doing? This is the biggest thing I've ever seen. What are you doing? Getting together animals. What? Is this like a farm? What's going on? Like, I don't get it. And the point I'm trying to make is, the vision that you have. The reason why you're on this call right now, you have a vision. No one else. You don't have to explain why you have that vision to anyone. Do you know what I mean? You just need to just trust in it. But the key here is, guys, he kept building. He kept building with the resources that he had in his backyard with what he had, doing all that he could with all that he had. And then the tsunami came, and he was ready to receive it. So that's today's message, man. I want everyone to really think about, like, you were created, for a reason. You wasn't an accident. Our goal is to please our creator. How do you do that? You please the creator by being, obviously, becoming the best version of you, telling other people about this, not about God, about, first of all, your actions and your own personal reasons needs to be like the center of everything, right? And leading with, God first, which is, I'm doing this, for God, because I've been blessed with that vision. So I'm doing it to prove to God that I believe. But then you're asking people questions to get them to think, and then slowly introducing them to the reality of a fulfilled life, which is also them finding their God, finding their universal energy, whatever you want to call it, right? That's how you please God, by inspiring other people. Where there's no vision, the people perish. So, like, you want to make sure that you're doing, are you doing all that you can to inspire people to ask themselves these questions? Do you know what I mean? By leaning not on your own understanding. Because we're so scared of, like, man's opinion, but we're not scared of God's judgment. We're not scared of, like, so people are more afraid of man's judgment than God's judgment. And I think when that energy shifts, when you become 51% actually, inspired to please God, then, and 49% inspired to please man. I think when that energy shifts, I think that's when you'll start to, like, really elevate, personally. But it's so hard to cut ties with the past, who we used to be, you know. I don't really hang around people that aren't godly. Do you know what I mean? Really, I don't. I don't hang around people that sin. I don't. I'd rather be on my own. But I'm not really on my own, am I? Do you know what I mean? Why? Because I'm being watched 24/7. I'm being judged 24/7. It's scary, man. It is mad. Fear of God. This that the Essentials brand, Fear of God. Like, that is it. Like, Big God is always watching, man. And we always get what we secretly deserve. You know what I mean? So when I see someone, I'm like, you're doing something though, aren't you? You're doing something. What's going on? Where are you messing up? What are you keeping to yourself, man? Let's get in that closet. Let's take all the skeletons out. Because just because you not showing it to the public, God's like, come on. When are you going to give that up? When are you going to surrender? to your goal. It's not about skill. It's not about how a person looks, the color of your skin, your age, your upline. It's got nothing to do with that. It's got everything down to you taking full responsibility, mastering yourself, doing your best, and then bringing other people on the same journey, but asking the right questions. But you need to be super excited and sold on your own ability to help people. Do you know what I mean? Like self-worth is directly correlated to sales. Do you know what I mean? So when you're like, no, I'm like if you get started with Jake Parton, like I'm gonna make sure that you're good. I'm gonna go above and beyond. I'm gonna give you all the tools, resources, information, phone calls, three-way calls, advice. I'm gonna be there for you, man. I'm gonna be there for you. I'm gonna tell you what worked for me. I'm gonna tell you what's worked for other people, and I'm gonna be there for you all the time. If you need me, I've got you. Now I'm not gonna be a doormat. I'm not gonna be a doormat. I'm gonna make sure you've got I'm not gonna come in and turn your bedroom light on in the morning and see if you're still motivated. Right? That's on you. You need to motivate. I don't motivate people. I motivate me, and then hopefully people want to come with me. But you need to take care of your own motivation, your own why, and you need to take the actions that have worked. Not for me. I'm just a messenger. Makes sense, guys. So let's do a quick Q&A.